Why don't some men perceive cheating as a very serious offense? Why are they not remorseful after cheating on their wives or girlfriends?
Every man that says marriage is miserable, he's cheating. Every single man.
Wow.
Every single man who says marriage is miserable, he's not investing 100% of himself into his marriage.
I've cheated my whole life.
Really?
My whole life. Until my marriage now, which is my third marriage. And we've been together 11 years and I'm faithful. And I had not been faithful with people that I fucking love and adore.
Sure.
You know, you burn people. And then it's not just a one-time burn. You see the scars of the burn of the people that you hurt forever. I see certain families and I go, oh man, you see their arm, you're like, I was the cause of that fire. I think one of the ways through it, in my work for cheating and for cheating men, is first to understand like every action. Like how does it, aside from what I need, how is this affecting her? How does this affect humanity, the world, like my children, the people around? Do you understand the fire that you're starting? Do you know this is a fire? That fucking fire that goes forever.
Hello fam, how you all doing? Hope you're having a great weekend. Please take a moment to support this video with your like and subscribe. Thank you. Today's video is on why men cheat and are not remorseful about it. There are a lot of reasons out there to ask why men cheat, but in this video I will be focusing on a few.
Believe it or not, ladies, some men cheat because they have abandonment issues. Maybe their mother wasn't around, the mother abandoned them, they loved a female that abandoned them, so they cheat to have a backup plan. Just in case the relationship don't last, they have a backup plan. That's the reason why they cheat. It has nothing to do with you. You're probably doing everything the man heart desires, everything that you're supposed to do to be a good wife, a good girlfriend. But they have abandonment issues. So they cheat because they have trust issues.
Some men cheat just to boost their ego and for selfishness and self-centeredness. Some men are very selfish. They think about themselves alone. They think about how they feel and they focus on their sexual satisfaction while neglecting the impact of their action on the spouse or the girlfriend. At that point in time, all they think about is how they feel and how their action is going to make them feel, and they forget about the other person involved in the relationship. This is very common amongst narcissists, and if they get caught in the process of cheating, they will find ways to justify their actions. They'll give reasons why they were pushed to cheat. They always put the blame on the partner. They don't take the blame. They don't feel remorseful in any way. Rather, they will focus their energy on making the partner understand that the reason why they cheated was because the partner acted in a certain way, or because they felt neglected, or because the partner was not validating them, or because the partner was too busy for them. So they had no other option, no other choice than to go out there and cheat.
Yeah. If a man strays, it's not about the woman. It just isn't.
We need to clarify that right now, because women think it's like, what's wrong with me? What's going on?
Enough. Yeah. Do I not have a good enough body?
Yeah.
And it's so not about that.
No.
It's a man's need to get his ego stroked.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time, the woman that the man cheats on is not as attractive as the woman.
100%. I couldn't agree more with that. Yeah. It's men operating with their ego.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, because of the generation now and
social media,
men are so desensitized.
Yeah.
And it's like you go out in the world and your values just are non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about men? Why do men cheat?
Men usually cheat when they're chasing an ego boost. They're not usually in love with the person that they're cheating with, but they are in love with the feeling that person gives them.
Narcissists will use anything and everything to justify not being with you and to justify cheating on you. And they'll do this in multiple different ways. Like, you have an argument. Well, I wouldn't have slept with this person if you hadn't done this. I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't. Always flipping it back on you. You know, well, you spent too much time out of the house with your family 1 day a week, so that's why I cheated on you. Like, there would be so many things. They'll make up so many different lies. The biggest thing is you have to understand is when a narcissist makes it your fault for their decisions, that's a huge red flag. That's a big piece of just understanding, wait a second, I didn't cause you to do that. I didn't tell you to go do that. I didn't make you or force you to do that, but narcissists will make you believe that you did.
Ladies, if you're dealing with a man who the majority of the time is self-centered, but then reels you back in with his genuinely enjoyable side, then you're not dating a man. You are literally being held emotionally hostage by a selfish kid that has mood swings. There's a big difference. So don't lower your standards just because it feels good. So respect yourself enough to walk away. Trust me.
Some men cheat due to cultural and social influence. In some culture, it's normal for men to have more than one wife, and if a man has just one wife, the man will be perceived as being a weak man. So men are encouraged to go out there and sleep around and have as many women as they would love to have. So it's not frowned upon in some society, in some culture. So because of this, some men feel like it's their right, it's their birthright for them to cheat. It's abnormal for a man to be faithful to one woman in some culture out there. Like I said, he's expected to have more than one woman. Because of this, if such man is being caught cheating, it's not going to be seen as cheating. The man will not show any iota of remorse, because to him, he's in his right. He's doing what he's supposed to do as a man, and to them, cheating is a test of your manhood. It boosts your masculinity, and this is what you're supposed to do. You're obligated to cheat. If they're being caught cheating, they might never apologize to their spouse. They would expect their spouse to understand that, oh, he was supposed to cheat. This is what is expected of him, and he would never show any form of remorse for his action. Due to the societal expectation and cultural expectation in such area, men that practice polygamy, men that go around and sleep around, they don't expect their wives to cheat. They get married to those women and expect them to be loyal and faithful to them, while them as the men go out there and cheat. So if the woman cheats on the man, it becomes a problem. You would see a scenario where a man has more than one wife, 2, 3, 4 wives, and the first wife goes out to cheat. It becomes a problem. She might even get killed because of that. But this man is out there with more than one wife, and he has wives and also side chicks, and that's not a problem. He doesn't see that to be an issue. So women with such men are expected to be loyal.
Cheat for the same reason, men and women?
First of all, let's be very clear. Men practically throughout history had a license to cheat. And they had all kinds of theories that came to justify that they are natural roamers, you know. So we have all these evolutionary theories and biological theories to explain why men are not by nature monogamous, whereas women are these domesticated creatures. We don't know what women would do if they were given the permission to do the same without the consequences that they face, which are very different than the one of men.
Our men already practice polygamy. It's just serial polygamy and separation polygamy. But our men, as I said, there's no black man on the earth. There's none in the history. There's none in the Bible. The Torah Article 1 that had one woman and loved her his whole life. I try to tell the sisters, let's deal with some reality. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery. I'm not talking about no man running around after a bunch of women just to have sex. I'm talking about that there are men that genuinely love 1, 2, or 3 women.
Yes.
Okay?
She said it, I didn't.
There is no history of the black man settling down with one woman and never desiring to have another.
Well, I think there's some actual facts we can look at on that. Monogamy has failed for the white man in America.
But this is like saying it's okay.
It's not me saying it's okay. This is how they're living. I'm giving you the history of what their life is. Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have white men. You know, this is just what they do. I'm not talking about one-night stands and running around rampant with other women. That's not the kinds of when I say more than one woman relationship. It is apparent that most of them, not all of them, it's certainly up to the man, do love more than one woman. Before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it because we had not met the monogamy idea, the American white woman who, you know, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy. After coming here, those kinds of ideas were bred into us because of society, but nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
of it.
Men don't get into a relationship because they want to be faithful. They want you to be faithful. I would always wonder, why are all these men in relationships if they're just going to cheat? And I realized it's not because they're making any promises. They're making you make a promise to be faithful to them. They don't want you sleeping with someone else, so they want this relationship with you. They want to own you, but they don't want you to own them. So make sure before you're locking yourself down for this man that he's asking you into this relationship out of love and not out of ownership.
Infidelity is genetic, they say. I often hear people say men are polygamous in nature. All men cheat.
I made a video recently, the top 8 red flags in men. One of the comments on there was all men cheat. The point she was trying to make was that even if they have none of those red flags, they're still going to cheat on me.
Some men cheat due to their genetic inheritance from their parents, which gene is being passed on to them, the genetic component, and the kind of gene that is being expressed in them.
So, did you know that infidelity is genetic? It's true. Many studies on twins have actually shown that genes for infidelity are passed down from one generation to the next. We even have an idea about which gene we think it is.
Globally, our ancestors were wanderers, gatherers, and hunters. This prevented them from staying in a particular place. They were always moving around, and it also made people live in isolation. The main reason why people had sex in those days was just for procreation.
Good evening, judges. Biologically, sex is designed for one main purpose: procreation. Anything else, that's extra. The female reproductive cycle comes around once a month. For a man, it's every day. For each sexual act, the woman's one egg is matched by the man's 120 million sperm cells. Now let's do some calculation. 120 million sperm cells a day, every day, as opposed to one egg a month, every month, means, assuming all the cells are viable, that it will take only 30 men to impregnate all the women in the world. This points to one clear fact: a man is, by nature, polygamous. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. Take those away, every man would cheat. It's simply biological. Now let's look at the extra. It's a known fact that women, for the most part, are more emotional than men. So it's natural that after a sexual encounter, she'll be attached. But because a man is visual and logical in nature, there's no emotion involved. For him, it's just a physical release that's got nothing to do with love. A man loves his woman by protecting and providing for her. Period. It's really quite simple. For a man, the physical and the emotional, two separate entities.
Why did we become monogamous? Humans are now mostly monogamous, but this has been the norm for just the past 1,000 years. Scientists at the University College London believe monogamy emerged so males could protect their infants from other males in ancestral groups who may kill them in order to mate with their mothers. Modern culture tells that each person has their a perfect partner to share the rest of their lives with. Although polygamy is a practice in various cultures, humans still tend towards monogamy, but this was not always the norm among our ancestors. Other primates, the mammalian group to which humans belong, are still polygamous too. The modern monogamous culture has only been around for just 1,000 years, says Kate Opie, an evolutionary anthropologist from University College London. Opie describes how the earliest primates, as early as 75 million years ago, were solitary and preferred to live in isolation. Adults would only come together to mate. How much sex should you be having? As time passed, primates as a whole became more social and evolved to living together in groups, but only humans became truly monogamous. Today, other primate species such as bonobos and chimps mate with multiple individuals in the groups. Humans shifted in the other direction, Opie said. Why did it happen? Current theories suggest it's down to the preservation of an individual's health and their offspring. STDs played a role. A group size grew amongst human societies from tens of people to hundreds of them. So we have the occurrence of sexually transmitted diseases according to a recent study. Our ancestors practiced polygamy not just for sex alone, but for other reasons, such as getting more hands to assist them with their farm work, expanding the population of their community, and for other personal reasons and traditional reasons.
Polygamy in Africa, most marriage in Africa for men was a responsibility. It wasn't to have fun, even like to get married, even to have multiple wives. Most of the time, in the many situations, it wasn't like, oh, I like those women so much. It was a situation that you have to first, for example, like when a guy in a community was successful, he needs to get married from wife in a different neighborhood around the community, so to give people many chances. Because, and also one thing that was very important, if your brother or your family member passed away and left a wife with children,
you had to take,
one of you guys have to take that wife. Like, whether you like it or not, somebody have to take it.
But you're not gonna sleep with the wife, though.
No,
right?
you'll sleep with.
No,
you
no.
take the wife.
Yeah, I'm just taking and say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take care of you and make sure.
Yeah, but you can take a wife and just not sleep with.
Yeah, you can.
Science tells us that the interaction between genes and environment shape the human development. Despite the misconception that genes are set in stone, research shows that early experience can determine how genes are turned on and off, and even whether some are expressed at all. The healthy development of all organs, including the brain, depends on how much and when certain genes are activated to do certain tasks. The experiences that children have early in life therefore play a crucial role in the development of brain architecture. Ensuring that children have appropriate growth promoting early experiences is an investment in the ability to become healthy, productive members of society. Experiences affect how genes are expressed. Inside the nucleus of each cell in our bodies, we have chromosomes, which contain the code for characteristics that pass to the next generation. Within these chromosomes, specific segments of genetic code known as genes make up long double helix strands of DNA. Children inherit approximately 23,000 genes from their parents, but not every gene does what it was designed to do. Experiences leave a chemical signature on genes that determine whether and how the genes are expressed. Collectively, those signatures are called the epigenome. The brain is particularly responsive to experiences and environment during early development. External experiences spark signals between neurons which respond to producing proteins. These gene regulatory proteins head to the nucleus of the neural cells, where they either attract or repel enzymes that can attach them to the genes. Positive experiences such as exposure to rich learning opportunities and negative influences such as malnutrition or environmental toxins can change the chemistry that encodes genes in the brain, a change that can be temporary or permanent. This process is called epigenetic modification.
But your genetics are not everything, right? How you were raised is a huge component in whether or not you will cheat in future relationships. If you see one member of your family cheating, then that behavior becomes much more normalized to you, and you're more likely to do that in the future. Your family plays a big role also in how you learn to cope with your pain and any trauma you might have experienced. So all of these taken together matter just as much as DNA in whether or not you are going to become an unfaithful partner.
Not all men cheat. All men can cheat. The difference between men who cheat and men that don't cheat is discipline. Think about it in a way of getting in shape. You are not paying attention to your cardio, to your exercise, to your diet, every single aspect of it. That discipline leads to an end result. Men without discipline cheat. So men, if you have messed up, it's correctable. Discipline equals self-respect. That self-respect equals a high-value man.
Some men do cheat due to learned behavior, childhood trauma, abandonment issues. There's a whole lot. Inability to connect emotionally with your partner, detachment issues and all that. There's so many reasons as why men cheat. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm just going to focus on a few. Let's hear what people have to say about the childhood trauma having an impact on men's cheating behavior.
Believe it or not, ladies, some men cheat because they have abandonment issues. Maybe their mother wasn't around, the mother abandoned them, they loved a female that abandoned them, so they cheat to have a backup plan, just in case the relationship don't last they have a backup plan. That's the reason why they cheat. It has nothing to do with you. You're probably doing everything the man heart desires, everything that you're supposed to do to be a good wife, a good girlfriend. But they have abandonment issues. So they cheat because they have trust issues.
And sometimes the person makes them feel seen. Sometimes the person makes them feel like they're fed. Sometimes they feel a person makes them feel attractive. Whatever it is, heard. They're chasing a particular feeling that they're deprived of, either from their marriage or from their childhood. And as a result, they seek it. It's not sexual. People think it's just, men love sex, men love sex. There's some men out there, if they really love sex, they would just have sex with their wives. They haven't had sex with their wives in a long time. But they crave novelty, or they crave somebody else making them feel a certain way. So I don't think it's all sexual. I think it's far more psychological and emotional than they think it is. And they label it as sex, but really it's the new person is making them feel seen. And maybe they felt unseen for a really long time at home.
And I suppose that a lot of single people or escorts are purposefully portraying a version of themselves that makes that person feel seen.
Yeah, the escorts know exactly what they're doing. Same with sugar babies. They know that with this man who's been married for so long, they target married men because they have in my experience of watching them, what they do is they have a leverage, because every time he doesn't pay her, he can say, I'm going to tell your wife.
Do you think that men lack empathy overall?
It depends on, like, if you had your mom in your life, how you were treated growing up, childhood trauma.
Of course, it's all situational. You can all, of course, based. But what you see in everyday life, if you could generalize it and say, I think that, a lot of men do lack empathy. Would you agree or disagree? Either way.
From my personal experience, I'm going to say I don't agree, because I know the people that I talk to, they actually love women. I think now, the people hanging around now, I think it's more empathy, like, bro, I need to do the right thing by her.
A lot of men will say that they didn't know how to treat a woman until they had a daughter. And it's like, you have to experience having a woman that close in your life to realize that you were not necessarily doing the right thing. Why couldn't you just be like, well, I wouldn't want that done to me, so I won't do that to other people?
I think those people like that, it is going to, either they're going to need to read a book or something, or have some traumatic experience to alter the way they think and the way they treat people.
Yeah, but I don't think it should take that, though. I don't think it should take a traumatic experience or you having a daughter to realize, oh, women are human beings too. It's almost like a rite of passage for men to go through that phase. They bond with other men over humiliating women. You came from a woman. Did you? Was your mom not there? But most of the time, men do have their moms, so I don't want to hear that either. I don't want to, because that's not.
I was just about to say that, because most of the time, men do have their mom.
Most of the time, you have your mom.
So somebody wanted me to talk about the emotionally avoidant or emotionally detached men one more time. And I think it's worth mentioning because a lot of people have a problem with it. A lot of marriages and a lot of couples and a lot of relationships struggle with the basic concept of feelings and emotions. A lot of these guys just don't know how to process their emotions, right? And because they don't know how to process their own, they damn sure don't know how to process yours. That way, whenever you come to him and you want to express your feelings, what does he do? He takes it as a personal attack every time. Here we go again. Listen. Positive reinforcement and constructive criticism are actually good things. That's what you can't get a guy to understand, because most of the time, whenever you start in, all he hears is, I'm not doing something right, I'm not good enough, I'm just gonna go do something else. No, if you would just let the woman finish talking, most of the time, yes, there are some negative, but there are some things that you're not doing right. You are never going to be 100%, ever. You have got to work towards growing yourself personally and with your partner. But if you would just let her finish and let her spit out the positivity at the end, you would probably understand and may even comprehend your relationship a little bit better. But instead, you're an avoidant. All you hear is, oh shit, I'm going to have to do something different. And that's not what I want. I want the bare minimum. I don't want to do anything different. Avoidant men are triggered by personal attacks, right? Because everything to them is a personal attack. If they're not great and they're not doing it right, it is an attack on their well-being. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? If he's a dismissive, if he doesn't have any willpower to grow in a relationship with you, if he does not try to understand where you are coming from without just spatting off whatever comes to his mind first, he is not going to get it. Okay. He's just not. And the problem with this is you're trying to fix the symptoms of the issues in your relationship, the problems. You have got to figure out why he feels so defective. And I say defective, and that's a very strategic word, because men do not accept that they are defective, okay? And I'm going to tell you what, half the battle is figuring out what is wrong with you. And I'm talking to you guys. I mean, you got to figure out what's wrong with you. Either, here's what's up. You either know what's wrong with you and you choose to be complacent, or you don't know what's wrong with you and you choose not to ask for help because you think it's weak. You fix that, you fix your attitude, maybe you can process your woman's feelings and emotions before she leaves you, because that's what's going to happen.
Thank you so much for watching. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. And if you would love to watch a video that speaks on being a placeholder in a man's life, are you a placeholder? Watch this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for your support so far. Bye-bye.